Greater Manchester Police are under investigation after the death of a 35-year-old man who may have been assaulted whilst in police custody. Gareth Roper was found dead in Lily Lane in Wigan in the early hours of New Year's Day, believed to have been killed by a hit-and-run driver who is said to have been arrested on suspicion of causing Mr Roper's death by dangerous driving and failing to stop after the collision. Gareth is said to have been arrested for a minor incident at his home, attacked in the back of the police van, then abandoned barefoot in Platt Bridge to make his way home 4 miles on foot. Mr Roper's widow said the police had been called to their home at around 3:30 AM after she reported a breach of the peace involving Gareth. He had a few drinks and he eventually fell asleep, at which point she rang the police again to cancel the call because she felt the incident had blown over. However, 4 officers arrived in a van anyway. Mrs Roper came downstairs to find him being put into the van, dressed only in his underwear. She says she got together some clothes which he put on, but the officers wouldn't let her hand over her husband's phone and shoes. The vehicle then left, and that was the last time she saw him alive. Less than an hour later, a taxi driver found Mr Roper collapsed at the side of the road on Lily Lane. Later that week, after the incident was made public, a friend of Mr Roper came forward to say he had seen him in Platt Bridge minutes before the fatality. He told investigators that Mr Roper said he had been arrested, taken all the way from Bryn to Platt Bridge, where he had been battered by his captors before being dumped from the van outside Iceland on Templeton Road. Barefoot and phoneless, he then tried to walk home, meeting the friend en route who described Mr Roper as delirious. Greater Manchester Police said it had referred itself to the Independent Office for Police Conduct and that the force was wholly committed to supporting the investigation. The IOPC said it would look at the actions and decision-makings of officers. A spokesperson for the IOPC said, we are currently independently investigating 4 Greater Manchester police officers who had contact with Gareth Roper in the hours before his death in Wigan on the 1st of January. This will look at the actions and decision-making of officers when Mr Roper was arrested and subsequently de-arrested, including any considerations for his welfare. We are also looking into an allegation that Mr Roper was assaulted whilst in custody. We will be reviewing evidence including police body-worn video, CCTV footage, as well as radio transmissions as part of our inquiries. A Greater Manchester Police spokesperson said due to previous police contact with Mr Roper prior to his death, Greater Manchester Police referred this case to the Independent Office of Police Conduct, who are now leading the investigation into this case. This is clearly a very tragic incident whereby a family has lost a loved one, and we are wholly committed to supporting the IOPC with their investigation to ensure the circumstances prior to Mr Roper's death are fully understood, and should any wrongdoing be found, appropriate action will be taken. Yeah, of course, Greater Manchester Police, you just love holding your colleagues to account, don't you? Especially when it comes to deaths at the hands of or following contact with you. To be honest, I'm surprised you haven't got shares in Addis. But, to be honest, and you know how much I like to upset people with my opinions, I would also be asking questions as to why the friend of Mr Roper didn't help him. I mean, was he in a car and could he have given him a lift home? Was he on foot and could have given Gareth the money for a taxi? You know, considering he was delirious. Why didn't the police give him a lift out of their duty of care? These are all questions I think need to be answered, but the fact the police wouldn't allow him to have his shoes and phone again goes to show how police can be so pathetic and love to teach people a lesson. Big thank you to channel supporters, especially these guys. Your support is truly appreciated. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, as I know many of you will. And until next time, stay safe, look after yourself, film the police and public officials.